The more time that passes, the less sure I am of anything, but the more okay I feel. It's this weird dichotomy of not being certain of things like I was when I was younger, but at the same time, with the things I'm passionate about now, I seem to care a lot more. Hi, I'm Spen from Good Color, and this is how we made the song Goldilocks. Goldilocks is the struggle of being in the in-between in every part of your life. I see myself and other people as being in this ever-changing reality that we call the present. But just as soon as we speak something or experience something into being, it immediately becomes history and who knows what comes next. So we are starting to introduce how throughout the record, your relationship with the future and the past heavily influences what it's like for you to experience being present. If Passage is a late-night screaming fest into the void of existential realization and feeling the weight of time as you experience it, then Goldilocks is the next morning when you wake up. This is my bedroom. Welcome, here are my plants, and here's my bed. This is where I wake up every morning. And underneath my bed is where I'm mixed Goldilocks. Under the Bed Records, if you know, you know. Honestly, with the amount of people that are going to watch these videos, this is just a really special little moment that we can share where really just a few of us will know what we're really talking about and what we really care about. So anyway, this song has been in my life for a long time. It was originally called The In-Between, and I started writing it in 2016. At the time, I was living between different parts of Mexico, mostly Veracruz and Puebla. At this time in my life, I wasn't listening to a lot of music, like at all. The only music I really connected with was music I made myself. And I made this music on a tiny little guitar in Veracruz. They called it a jarana, and it wasn't actually like a traditional Veracruz jarana. It was much more of like a super mini classical guitar. It was very small. I used a literal shoelace for my guitar strap, and this is the little voice recorder that I used to record my ideas. Here's the guitar in proportion to me. As you can see, it's very, very small. Like, my hand is the size of the front of the instrument. And this is the first known demo I have of the song. This was in May of 2016. So it's kind of fun. I had that solo section in mind ever since the moment I started writing the song. And then here's when I started to put words to the music in May of 2017.
Turn back the time to find out what you mean to me. Back the time to find out what I mean to you.
I can't. The little snaps, it's so funny. Turn back the time to find out what you mean to... Yeah, I'm a choir boy. I love choirs. And then when I moved back to Utah from Mexico, I brought the song to my high school band that had gotten back together called the Cronies. Big shout out to Kendall, Tyler, Shane, Daniel. They were my first bandmates I ever had, and they mean a lot to me. I brought this music to them, and it was so cool because for the first time in my life I was experiencing what it's like to create something musically and collaborate with other people to make it something that you couldn't make it on your own. Shane put a drum part to it that I couldn't make. Tyler put a bass part to it that I wouldn't have done myself. And Kendall sang it in a way that only Kendall's voice could. It sounded quite a bit different. So this is how the song sounded when the Cronies played it at the Velour in like fall of 2018.
All of these times I've been spending
So fun. I was not equipped to be a lead guitarist at that time, either in skill or in equipment itself. Like, in my first band, I didn't have a pedal board, and I played on a Line 6 Spider. You ever seen all those memes about Line 6 Spiders? Yeah, I was that young adult, unironically living in that world. So when the Cronies ended, the song stuck with me. It was cool playing with them, but nothing ever really got established. We never recorded it. We never made it anything beyond something we jammed as a group and played live. And in 2019, after the Cronies, we started a new band called Sorry Mom. That was with Daniel, Shane, and myself. And then I eventually met Fish, and boom, the rest is history. We never played the song officially as Sorry Mom, but we did jam it a time or two over the years, and the whole time the song was just like right there in the back of my head, and I couldn't get it out. The melody, the lyrics, the feeling of it just stuck with me. And then eventually I met Miles, and my life would change forever. So I met Miles at the guitar shop I work at. Of course, through him I met Nicole. And then about a little less than a year after we met, it would have been January 2021 at this time, Miles was like, "Hey Spencer, I know a drummer. His name's Loy. Let's make music." So we were jamming at Loy's place, and I was like, okay, I want to bring the In-Between back. I really want this song to become something. So here we are, going back into the voice memos. This is February of 2021, and here we are. Yeah, so between these older phone demos of You and All, Abilene, Sorry Mom stuff, we've got the revival of the In-Between. Guitar intro. Yeah, and then here in the outro, didn't know what we were doing, so we were just making noise, and I was like screaming, because I was like, I want it to be massive. And then the song eventually became this. Became a little bit more developed. Yeah, so I didn't know what yet, but at that part, after lighting slowly, I just wanted it to feel like it was tugging your heart out of your chest a little bit. So then time kept passing, and we were like, okay, we really like what we're doing here. So Miles, Loy, and shortly thereafter, Nicole joined us, and Alec too. Yeah, it was this strange coming together moment where we were all together for this brief time when we said, yeah, we're doing this, we're making Goldilocks. It was summer of last year, and it was just time to make the song. So we sat down here in my bedroom, and we recorded all the parts. So if I remember right, the entirety of this song was recorded in my bedroom. So let's pull up the project file and take a look. Awesome. So here we are in the song itself. Not in the flesh, but in the electronics. Let's check out the intro's intro. So we started off with my guitar part. We added Miles. Love how those parts work together. And Nicole's part. And we finally added the some really sweet Juno sounds on top of that. Okay, but we gotta appreciate the Juno by itself. Like, just listen to this sweetness. Yeah, this is a texture that I can't get enough of. This is so nice. Oh, kills me. It's so sweet. Then you put that on top of Nicole's part. Looking back, I should have just made that the entire song and I'd be happy. But alas, Miles and I matter, so here's All of Us Together again. Cool. And then after that, we get into the actual intro of the song. And the intro sounds like this. Got my rhythm still going. Miles' low wave still going. But something that I really like is we added an octave on my guitar. So check this out. It's slowly fading in. And then at that point, you really start to hear it come out of the mix. Oh, it's really nice. Because my guitar alone was cool. But you add this. Just add so much sweetness. That was Benton's idea, by the way. I was working a lot with Benton at this time to just work on my own music production skills. And after the intro's intro, for the intro, we were like, yeah, we just got to go to town on that Juno sound. Like, as if this high part wasn't enough. This beautiful pipe wind sound, we were like, yeah, we've got to put that a couple octaves lower as well. That is so good. Oh, I love that so much. And then we get into the first verse. Yeah, so let's talk about what's going on there. So first of all, my rhythm's still going, Miles' guitar's still going, all those parts that were in the intro are still going. But then we do this interesting thing right here. Yeah, so that's from Jack Antonoff Studios. If you know me, you know I love Jack Antonoff. So it was really late at night one night, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna put all these O's together. So all this is a bunch of Jack Antonoff just saying, oh, from Foreign Girls. Really cute. So when you listen for that in the mix, it'll sound something like... Old Elba is really the only sound that matters. Nicole is everything. Oh, we got a fun little drum ebb here too. Yeah, and I guess we should mention the drums. I almost forgot to talk about the drums. So we called the drums Loy Lizard. Long story. Loy recorded these drums into an electric kit. We took that MIDI and we converted it into just audio. Chorus time. Fine, I'll show you my vocals as well.
To the end, from the start, the in-between is where we are. Turn back the time to find out what you mean to turn back the time.
Yeah, to turn back the time, indeed. We doubled my vocals, so alone it would have sounded like this.
Spin in the dark, lighting slowly.
With a little bit of reverb. Then you double it and it's...
Spin in the dark, lighting slowly.
like it's just like swirling around both of your ears. This song's supposed to be kind of odd. There's nothing about this song that should scream, oh yeah, this is a perfectly comfortable experience for me. But at the same time, it feels great. I absolutely love Nicole's vocals in the chorus.
To the end, from the start, the in-between is where we are. Turn back the time to find out what you mean to me.
Oh, so pretty. So you put Nicole and myself together, and I think we make a pretty good team.
To the end, from the start, the in-between is where we are. Turn back the time to find out what you mean to me. Turn back the time.
And then it's time to find out what I mean to you. What do I mean to you? And I wanted this part to sound really lonely. We cut everything out except for the voice. Like if you solo that out, it's just
To find out what I mean to you.
oh, it's just so lonely.
To find out what I mean to you.
And I love it. Then you just listen to how that settles into the mix and leads into the instrumental. It makes me think of Wake Me. Right before it goes into the instrumental section, it's just this really soft, intimate, it's just this really small, intimate moment right before it explodes into this big wave of sound in the instrumental there. It's kind of a similar concept here. And there is seriously so much going on in the instrumental part. Like, the drums just keep on going, kind of doing their thing. So as a band, we really like synthesizers. We like sequencing. We really like these pulse bass lines from synthesizers. And so we hopped on the monologue and we made this. With its corresponding MIDI friend. And this really plucky guy. Very percussive. So all three together is just really rich. My guitar is still going. Miles' guitar is still going. Oh, but it's so big. Very delicious guitars. It's kind of like the Cure. Of course, we can't get enough of the Juno bass. Juno bass is always there. Low, 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 low pipe wind. And the high pipe wind. And what do you know? I'll become a lead guitarist after all. Here's my solo. But I needed more. Like, I'm not really a traditional guitarist in any sense of the word. Even in, like, rock music. Like, I'm not... that's not me. But I do play what I can, and I'll add fun things on top. Like my octave again. And for whatever reason, an organ just felt right. And then there's this really adorable little sound that I found on Logic called a scatter pad. Yeah, lots of ethereal vibes in this song. Kind of makes you feel like you're floating around. And it's also huge, so it's like you're floating in the ocean and you're feeling a lot of things. There's this buoyancy and this weight, and it's kind of fighting the whole song. And you're right here. This didn't come out in the mix too much, but I still think it's fun. Cute Nicole. She sounds like Hannah Diamond there. It's so sick. And of course we love a good drum fill. Buzz roll. I think that's the right term. And at the end of the solo it's really fun because the scatter pad does this little walk up that's really subtle in the mix. Like you have to really listen to it to get the reward. So pretty. Verse 2. So first of all, we can just appreciate how wobbly my voice is.
Beating slowly.
Kind of fun. With this band, I've been experimenting a lot with my vocal styles, which you'll hear throughout the record.
Beating slowly.
Yeah, you just listen to...
All of these feelings have been kept in my heart. Beating slowly.
Yeah. And then I really wanted a heartbeat thing here. I like to surprise people in music. It's really fun to do things that are unexpected. So with the drums, I really wanted to do this heartbeat thing. And it's also fun to hear my guitar and Miles' guitar fade back in with those beats. I just love what Benton did with this note that swells out of the heartbeats into the last part of the second verse. Sounds like this. And what that's meant to do is really activate the bass line again. Like, point of view, your heart stopped and you've got to get it beating again. So you go chuk 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 chuk. So it's like zick chuk 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 zap. Chuk 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 zap, you know? Gotta get your heart beating again. So what do? And you add that to the other two bass lines. Very thick, very rich. It was also really fun to mix up the drum beat here a little bit, because we go from this in the chorus to this. And I love how Benton put the delay on those drums. It feels really nice to go from something that's driving to something that kind of goes under the surface for a second. Of course, with these other drums that are kind of just there. I love that. You can't not notice how chaotic this song is. This was my first time creating a song all by myself, and it's so all over the place. Thank you so much, Benton, for dealing with this insanity of a song. So we go through the whole song. We've got the intro, we got the whole intro, first verse, chorus, instrumental, second verse, chorus, but the song isn't done yet. I always wanted the song to be a little bit experimental and kind of holding on to that uncomfortable feeling of not knowing if you're ahead of time or behind time, or you're just in this time making sense of where you are based on where you've been. So there's been some surprises. There's been some interesting choices, but we're not done yet. The outro isn't supposed to sound like good. It's supposed to be a little chaotic. But there's lots of beauty in there too. Transition into the outro is this drum fill that Loy made. Very cool. So it's that drum fill mixed with Nicole's laugh. Sounds really creepy with all that delay on it, but you throw it into the mix and it's just... Nicole's laugh is the sweetest thing in the world, and I wanted that sweetness to bounce around with the drum fill to lead into the outro. Alone it sounds kind of like you're in outer space, but in the mix it feels right. So outro drums are kind of a gallop beat. I'm thinking Eyes Wide Open by Gautier here. And with that gallop beat, I said, time to shred. With with a lot of reverb and some distortion. And I love Miles' guitar part that he made. He did a low and a high, starting with a low. Completely panned to the left, and then we brought in the high on the right. And with laughs and drums and massive guitars, we've got this holding everything up. I love that sound. I love that sound. We will be using the sound again. So much interesting texture in that bass. And we have Alex bells here. So we automated these bells to come in, and then we slowly faded in. Very magical sounds. And we've got the return of the scatter pad. Hey friend. So with the bells. And that sweetness is just flying under the radar of really fun. Like I said a minute ago, it's not supposed to sound like good. So this whole song Goldilocks is just making sense of being present. And the outro is kind of reverting back to the mood that Passage has, where you're just screaming into the void, asking questions, and having these visceral energies, making sense of yourself and your self-concept and who you are. So I'm just screaming here. Oh, wow. So I'm just screaming here.
You turn back the pages to the very start. The creases and edges of my paper heart. You paper mache those empty walls.
Yeah, big learning moments here. Yeah, that's the extent of which screaming is for me. I'm not really good at raising my voice. I'm a very gentle boy. But, you know, I mix that vocal
You turn back the pages to the...
with this.
Turn back the pages to the very start.
Very chaotic. And as if that wasn't enough, Benton, once again, did something really cool where he did, you know, an octave lower in my vocals. Or maybe a couple octaves lower.
Turn back the pages to...
Yeah, just an octave lower.
Turn back the pages to the very start. The creases and edges of my paper. Back the pages to the very start.
That's so
the
funny.
creases and edges of my paper heart.
I'm like a robot.
Turn back the pages to the very start.
But, you know, you add it to my other vocals and it just gives more depth.
Turn back the pages to the very start.
And so everything together is just crazy.
Turn back the pages to the...
And it's also this point that the drums shake things up a little bit. Enough said. And of course everything in the outro leads straight to the song transition into Every Mind a World. I mean, there's so much beauty about leaning into these spaces where you're asking questions. It's a lot more interesting than either having things figured out or maybe working with the cognitive dissonance of pretending like you've got things figured out. So this song is really special to me. It's really special to us. Things don't go as planned, and I love that. We'll be back soon with a song breakdown for Every Mind a World. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe, and all those fun things that people on the internet do to support people who do stuff like this. I'm exhausted. I've never done this before, just making videos. Can we talk about how difficult that is? I'm just drinking this milkshake and holding on to something that I am pretty sure to be true, that everything will be okay in whatever capacity that looks like. Milkshake. Milkshake. All right, love you so much. See you later.